Oh yeah, all y'all are gonna get a little pop-up saying that things recording. Do you still want to proceed? It's one of Zoom's new little safety features. So people can't record your Zoom session without you knowing it. Apparently people be doing some fishy things on Zoom and recording it without telling the other person. So I don't even want to think why they had to put that into place. But so tonight we're going to be talking about time management, which if y'all know me, one of my favorite things to talk about. Savannah shaking her head yes, because she probably has heard me regurgitate so much of this, it's not even funny. But tonight I'm actually going to give y'all a bunch of random tips. What I did is when we announced this series, I went in like a blank notebook paper and I just wrote down like, okay, what are some things I'm learning this week that I need to share? Because guys, I have a time management video out that literally is exactly how to schedule, prioritize, to-do lists, all that stuff. It's on YouTube. I'll post it underneath the replay of this. Also, if you want it before then, message me, Chelsea, or Mandy, and we can get it to you. I'll make sure that they have it. So I'm not going to regurgitate all of that. And I was telling both of them today that I guarantee the three of us are going to share very different time management tips because we're in very different walks of life. And we can each kind of tell a little bit of our story because I know there's some brand new people on here. But Chelsea and I are moms, but we're moms in very different seasons. And Mandy is like an awesome person traveling around freaking Australia in her luxury little mobile home / van, whatever the political correct term is to call it. But like living life and basically living by the beach all the time. So we have very different schedules, which means we're going to have a lot of different things that are going to work for you time management wise. And some of you may not relate to me. If you don't know me, I've been in this business for like 5.5 years. I started when I was working full time. I have one daughter, we're a ministry family, and we are a homeschool family. So I am with a kid pretty much 24/7. But I use a lot of techniques to, I guess, create free time for myself to not only work the business, but also feel like I'm not losing my mind. I know a lot of stay-at-home moms and a lot of homeschool moms feel like, oh my gosh, I'm with my kid 24/7. And I'm like, oh, heck yeah, I'm with my kid 24/7. Like we get to do all the fun things together, but we still have our alone time in our space, just like a husband and a wife does. Just because you're married doesn't mean like you're up each other's butt 24/7. And that's kind of the same thing that we should be able to do with our kids, but it takes a little bit of training because your kid isn't a 30-year-old man that you can have a conversation with and then like they give you space. Your kid, if your kid is like my kid, every 5 seconds, mom, can I hug you? Can I have a hug? Can I have a drink? I'm like, hey, you're almost 7. Go get a drink. You don't have to ask anymore. So I will say when we are going through this tonight, if something resonates with you, one, obviously write it down, but then tag us. Take a recording of this, take a screenshot of this, stick your phone up and just like, boom, take a picture while we're talking. Create FOMO. Create FOMO for your team that's not on here because they should be on here. Create FOMO for all your potentials. Mandy and Chelsea can let you guys know what their handles are. But on Instagram, I am Helping Hearts Homeschooler. Tag me over there. On Facebook, I'm Tanya Gray Johnson, just like my little name down there says. Tag me on Facebook. Talk about all the training that you're getting from us. Talk about the step-by-step. Talk about the excitement. Talk about whatever you like about these Zooms. So CC Mama OX is Chelsea's. And I'm sure she put it in the thing, but I'm sure she'll tell you again. And I'll put mine in the little chat later. But all that to say, guys, even if you're watching the replay, take a video, take a boomerang, take a selfie of yourself watching it, whatever. Type out one thing that you learned and put it in your stories. Talk about how the business gives you life skills versus just a paycheck. Because that's what people want to see. People want to see that, yes, we're all about the business, but we're not just about the business. So I want you to drop in the comments. I'm not going to yell at you, I promise. But drop in the comments a 1 if this Zoom was on your calendar, whether you wrote it down or like you have a calendar in your phone, whatever. Write a 1. Write a 2 if it wasn't, and somebody put in the chat an hour ago and you're like, oh crap, there's a Zoom tonight, I'm going to hop on. Again, I'm not going to yell at you, I promise. But that's going to give you a little bit of a telltale sign of how good you are at time management. And I see a lot of ones. So I'm going to be preaching to the choir, so to speak. So a lot of what we're going to say is probably going to resonate more with those of you watching the replay than those of you on live, because you made the time to get on here. Another one, drop down a 3, because we're already at 2. Drop down a 3 if when you woke up this morning, you already had a schedule written out for the day. You already knew what you were going to do. Savannah's like, yeah, we talked about this. You already knew what you were going to do and approximately the time you were going to do it. And then drop a 4 if you, or okay, a 3 if you did it last night, or if you got up and did it first thing this morning. Because I used to do my journaling sessions at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that was like my brain time. So I'd write out my schedule first thing in the morning. But drop a 4 if you either don't have a schedule for today, or you have a loose to-do list and you're just like frantically trying to get as much as you can done, but you know you haven't been productive as you could be and you're a little bit frustrated. You guys are the people I'm speaking to tonight. And again, I have a whole video that goes over that. I'm not going to regurgitate a lot of that. But a schedule, all it does is creates urgency. I'm usually a 4. Hey, honesty. It creates urgency. When your alarm clock goes off in the morning and you already know, because what I do is I look at my schedule the night before, right before I go to bed. So when my alarm clock goes off, I know, okay, I've got to do this, this, and this. If I hit snooze, I'm already going to be put behind schedule. And that is why I do a weekly to-do list or a weekly schedule, not a daily. Because then I know in my mind, like, okay, if I sleep in, puts me 3 hours behind. I can't just put those tasks anywhere. I'm going to have to like bust butt to get some things done because I'm already full for the whole week. Julie, and actually you are the person I'm going to talk to tonight, because literally the tips I'm going to give you are tips on when basically your life goes to crap and your schedule has to get thrown out the window, on how to still maximize your time. Because some of y'all I told this, some of you I didn't. And some of you are going through way worse than what I'm going through. But in beginning of June, I had some pretty massive warning signs come up for cancer, to where I had to schedule the appointments, and just, I was a little frantic. My schedule went out the window a lot. I had doctor's appointments. I had to arrange babysitters. I had tests that are so invasive, you don't ever want to get them done. Luckily, I got my last test back yesterday. Everything has come back clean. Well, my last test, I have one more scheduled for the end of this month, but I'm not worried about that one. The ones I was worried about are done and over with. They came back clean. I came back on the high risk factor. So I've got to go start getting monitored, but just once a year. But it's because I have PCOS. So it's common. Like I had planned on being high risk. I just didn't want to have it right now. Not that anyone does. And I know there's people on our team that they do have cancer and they don't share it a lot. So I'm not going to call them out. So I'm not saying that to get any sympathy from anyone, because I don't, and I'm excited about it. But if you've ever had any kind of health scares, you know that it is very easy to get sidetracked and it's very easy to get in your own mind. So a lot of last month, I used the tips I'm going to give you now because I didn't do what I needed to do because I was in my own head. And then today, I used what I'm going to tell you now, because I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning when my alarm went off. I did the things I needed to do last night. Like I was ready for the day. I had my schedule written out. I hit snooze and I don't remember anything until 7:50. I don't know why. Like I was really tired, I guess. So what I did, let me back up a little bit. Another thing, a reason that I do weekly schedules is because then you can kind of play a game with yourself. If you can get it done quicker, and I do allow a little bit more time for each task than I know is needed, because you know things are going to come up, right? So if I know it takes me 45 minutes to clean my house, I'm going to schedule an hour because I have a kid, I have a husband, like something's going to pop up in there and I'm going to need a little bit more time. But today I had scheduled 45 minutes to make these little cotton candy props for our Vacation Bible School. Can't see them that good, but literally it's little cotton candy. I had scheduled 45 minutes today and 45 minutes tomorrow. Well, 45 minutes came and went today. I only had a few more to do. So I was like, well, I'm just going to finish them. It took me about 10 minutes. I finished them. So now I'm all done. I don't have to do them tomorrow. And I have about a 30-minute window tomorrow that I don't have anything planned because I played the game with myself. I hustled. I didn't put a TV show on and sit down and take 5 hours to make these. Anyone ever guilty of that? You have something to do and you take as long as you can because you're multitasking all over the place. I sat down, I got them done, and now I have time tomorrow to do what I want to do. I did the same task that could have taken me, I'm not kidding you, probably 3 hours, and I did it in 50 minutes because I sat down and I got it done. How many times with work do we have a task? Alicia Sutton is a hacker. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Alicia Sutton is a hacker. Someone's using her Facebook to ask for money from all of her friends. Okay, good to know. Alicia, I'm going to delete you out of here unless you want to drop in the chat or unmute yourself and show a video because you don't have a video on. So I'm going to assume whoever posted that knows you. I'm not going to report that. It takes too long. I'm just going to remove you. Oh, look. Before I removed her, she deleted herself. That tells you she probably really was a hacker. Thank you. I don't know who put that in there, but thank you. We don't need anyone dropping links asking for money in this Zoom. So all that to say, play the game with yourself, get the task done. You know about how long it takes you to get it done. So instead of dragging it out, just do it. I've had times where I message the same amount of people in 3 hours as I can get done in 30 minutes by just doing it. And I think if y'all been in the business long enough, a lot of y'all can say that. So I'm going to give you 9 tips and don't let that freak you out. I'm going to go really quick. I'm going to talk very, very fast. But 9 tips to stay on track, even when your day doesn't start on track. The first one is a little off of that, but the first one is when you throw your schedule out on purpose, which the tip is let yourself throw away the schedule. Let yourself have fun, guys. We had a church picnic on Saturday. And what I do is I schedule what I need to get done before the picnic. So I schedule what time I get up, if I need to make breakfast, prep lunch, clean my house, whatever I need to get done before I leave. Then I schedule what time I'm leaving for the fun thing. And that's it. I don't schedule anything else the rest of the time. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. I don't care. I can be on the whole day if I want to. I obviously don't know exactly what I'm doing when I get there. The point is fun. I'm not working while I'm there. I'm not checking my phone. I'm not checking my messages. I might take a couple pictures and throw them up, and I might not. This last picnic we just went to, I didn't take any pictures because I didn't feel like it. You don't have to work when you're not working, period. That's why we do a schedule. And then as soon as I got home, I sat down and I wrote out a schedule for the rest of the day. The reason I don't try to do it before, like the night before, is because I don't know what time I'm going to get home. The schedule or the picnic was at noon. My husband and I were just planning on staying till like 1:30. We were going to eat, say hi and bounce. We had a lot of things to do. We didn't know they had like games and stuff planned afterwards. And so we decided to stick around. If I would have had my schedule set at 2 o'clock to be home and then all my tasks laid out, we didn't get home until 4. I would have been a little frantic and I wouldn't have enjoyed myself because I would have known, man, I need to be home doing this instead. So I don't schedule when I'm going to be home on things like that. I schedule when I get home. So I got home, I looked at the things I needed to do and I plugged them into time slots and I got to work. This allowed me to organize what I needed to get done. So that way in my mind, like I knew what I needed to get done versus just wanted to get done. And I did it. It allowed me to have time limits to not waste time. Because like I just said, if you put your certain time limit on what you're doing, you're more likely to get it done. Then if you just say, oh, I'm just going to clean my house and I'm going to pop some music in. And, you know, again, I can clean my whole house and it usually takes about an hour. And I have done it to where it takes me 2 and I'm not even done yet. Because I'm like listening to music or I'm talking to people on the phone or whatever. And then it allows me not to be overwhelmed. If I come into a messy house, like I can almost paralyze myself to not, I don't even know where to start. If you sit down, write out what you need to get it done, start, you know, plugging into some time slots, then you're good to go. And Julie, I know a little bit of your situation. Yes, it goes for fun times, but it also goes for emergencies. If you got to throw your schedule out the window, throw it out the window. Or if you have not an emergency, but an emergency planned, I guess, you got to take someone to a doctor's office or whatever, like schedule up until that. And then don't worry about your schedule until you get home, and then sit down and schedule whatever you can fit in before bedtime. So I hope that helps a little on that. Second thing is plan stuff for your kids. Y'all, it's summer. How many people stop working their business in the summer because their kids are home? Now, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of our team doesn't do that because we're all homeschoolers. Your kids are home all the time. So summer, not summer, it doesn't matter. Our kids are always up our butt. But so I use this all year round, but I'm telling you, especially in the summer, do this. We have what's called a fun box, and this fun box only comes out when I need it to come out. She does not get to play with this stuff all the time. It's, hey, it's time to sit down and like mom needs to do a power hour or mom needs to do a Zoom. Here's a fun box, pick something and play with it. Now, today we had 3 kids at our house, so we stagger things a little bit, and I'm going to go through that in a minute. But I'm going to just show you a few little things that are in our fun box. We've got giant tubs of slime, and they're in the fun box because I don't want it all over my house. You get to play with it right in front of me when I'm working. Then that ensures that it stays at the kitchen table and it doesn't get all over my couch. We have random craft things. So today I pulled out some stars and some stickers, and I let him go to town. The little 4-year-old boy, this is what he made. And then the girls were a little bit more strategic with theirs, and they just did like cute little things. But this craft kept them busy for 45 minutes. Now, I don't say, hey, you have to sit here and do this. What I do say is, hey, there's some crafts on the table. If you guys want to use them, go for it. If not, you can play quietly. But if you start getting in trouble, you know you're going to have to sit and have timeout. We don't do timeout as in like go stand on a corner, you're in trouble. We do timeout like, hey, you're not behaving. Sit for 5 minutes and then you can get up and play again. I'm going to show you this one a little bit later because there's a funny story behind it. Where do you find these? Go to Amazon. You're gonna spend a little bit more money, but you can find all kinds of craft kits. Anytime I'm at the dollar store, I take a quick walk through their craft section and their educational section. And I just pick a few things up. I don't need to know when I'm going to use them. That's the point. I change out our fun box every 2 to 3 weeks. There's always new things in there. They don't have to use everything that was in there before. I'm just going to rotate it because if it's not new anymore, your kids don't care. It's boring. They don't want to play with it. If you're constantly putting new things in there, like my daughter looks forward to when she's allowed to get into the fun box. This we found, it's a sticker. You peel this film off and it's sticky underneath, and it has like little clear beads that you stick on it. So it just turns into like a, I don't know, almost a mosaic, but it's pretty. I found these at Walmart for $1. They have the little paint on the bottom of them, and you just put water and you paint a little picture. Savannah's like, ooh, I like that on God Kids. I'm gonna get one of those. This is like a $2 book of random mazes I found at Walmart. Any of the little, these are technically school books. The dollar store has a lot of these, but they're in your kid's favorite character. I get the ones that are a grade level less than my daughter because she just likes to sit there and like do the mazes and, oh, look, Mom, I counted to 5 cupcakes. Well, of course you did. You're in 2nd grade. I hope you can count to 5 cupcakes, but it's fun. We have color by number books. Like there's so many things. So anytime you are at the dollar store or Walmart or Meijer or whatever your store is, just go take a quick walk through the clearance aisles and through the craft aisles. You're always going to find things on sale. Then you don't have to spend a buttload of money to go find things because you always have a box at your house with just new stuff coming in, usually from the dollar section or the clearance section. The little cute little beads. We were in Louisiana on vacation and we went to Hobby Lobby. Brittany was actually with me when we did this. And I found these sets for 49 cents. So I bought 6 of them. 49 cents. They're $12 sets. My daughter always has the coolest little craft things, and I do not pay the price that they're supposed to be paid for. So set up activities for your kids. Kids left to chaos, kids left to themselves always turn to chaos. I'm not just talking about destroying your house. I have no problem with my daughter being messy and having fun. She's a kid. But if you have more than one kid, leave them to themselves more than 30 or 45 minutes and someone's crying that somebody hit them or looked at them or smelled them or something. Okay, we always have extra kids over here in the summer. So I only have one, but I always joke I have multiple bonus kids that are always at my house. So I basically am a full-time working mom of multiple kids. And I homeschool all of them because they all do school in my house. But it's fun as long as you can kind of control the chaos. So I'm going to walk you through what my schedule is like today, hit the last of the points, and then I'm going to hand it off to Mandy. Like I said, I didn't wake up till 7:55. The kids showed up at my house at 8. So I had a 5-minute window. So number 1 and number 2, I just went through. The rest of them really are like preparing yourself. Number 3 is get as much ready the night before as you can. I dry shampooed my hair. I took a shower the night before. I typically try to do that. I already had an outfit, or in my case, I don't really have an outfit laid out. I have like 4 or 5 that I wear throughout the week because I stay home. So I don't need to be like super professional, but I have stuff laid out, or at least I know where it is, so I get dressed pretty quickly. 8 o'clock, we started block 1 of my daughter's school because we school year round. So even though other kids are coming, we don't always, like we usually don't take days off. So as she was doing school, the other 2 kids played quietly. First thing in the morning, I can usually get 30 to 45 minutes out of them without fighting. And then as she did her stuff, I got pretty much all of my journaling done. And I told the kids, I said, if you can get through, like let her get through the school, be good, behave, I'll let you get 30 minutes of TV time. And I'm going to put all your names in a cup. We're going to pull one person out and that person gets to pick a 30-minute show. So number 4 is don't be afraid to let your kids earn screen time. Now that also means they can't have free run of screens. Otherwise there's nothing to earn. So I would highly, highly suggest earning screen time versus your kids just having a tablet, iPad, access to TV, whatever, because it kind of takes that leverage away from you. Let me check the time because I want to make sure I'm not like going all the way over this. So yeah, usually we do like summer work to earn screen times for other kids. My daughter automatically gets 30 minutes of screen time a day as long as she gets her school done. Okay, so yeah, while we were doing that, my daughter and the other little girl played for a little bit. This was before I let them do their first screen time, because the little boy came to me almost when Glory was done and wanted to know if he could earn tablet time. We let them earn 30 minutes of tablet time a day, and all they're allowed to play is educational games. So each kid can earn a 30-minute TV show and a 30-minute tablet time. So he sat down and started doing his work while my daughter and the little girl played, and I started on my morning power hour. I got about 10 to 15 minutes of it actually done in like 5-minute increments, helping him with his stuff. Then all the kids sat down. I let them watch their 30-minute show, and I went and got ready during that time. So you've got to be strategic. If you don't get up before your kids get up, which again, I don't plan that, but it happens. You've got to be strategic of when you get your stuff done so you can still get your stuff done. After their TV show, I sat down. My daughter started block 2 of school. The little boy got his 30 minutes of tablet time, so he's quiet. And the little girl played for a little bit. Then she came and wanted to earn her tablet time, so I sat down and gave her the work to do. And then that's when I finished my power hour, as they're all 3 doing things, asking questions. It took me about 3 hours to get my morning power hour done because I had to do it in 5-minute increments. Guys, it sucks. I don't like doing it like that, but you're going to have days where you have to do it like that. Then the 1 o'clock Zoom came. That was when they got their second 30-minute show. The second person got to pick. And that is when I started on my block or my afternoon power hour. Now, so number 5 brings me to, if you're letting them earn screen time, schedule them strategically. Guys, if I need to get ready, if I need quiet time for something, if I need to hop on a Zoom, guess when those 30 minutes of screen times are going to be magically scheduled. It wasn't a coincidence that I scheduled it for 1 p.m. this afternoon. Now, granted, I know Savannah could hear it because we talked about it. I'm sure other people on the Zoom could. They were listening to Mario jump up and down because that's the little show they wanted to watch. So my team could hear some of it, but it was better than kids running around and breaking things and me having anxiety attacks thinking the TV is going to get broken. So it is what it is. Once that was over, we sat down. My daughter did block 3 of school. The little girl did her 30 minutes of tablet time, so they're occupied. The little boy played quietly. Do you see how I'm keeping them kind of separate all day, doing different things? without saying, hey, you can't play together because you're going to fight. Now, some kids, you might have kids that they get along perfectly and never fight with each other. I've never had any kids like that visit my house. Again, more than like 30 or 45 minutes at a time. Once that was done, we were completely done with school. I had finally, I think at that point, finished my block 2 or my afternoon power hour. I did. And so we all sat down and we did a craft together, and we did. My daughter's history lesson today was about fireworks. So we did fireworks. We made fireworks on a page. And this was the instruction. This is the one I did to show them. If y'all want to laugh, go look on my Instagram when you're done here to see what theirs turned out like. We could just put this on a Pinterest fail, let me tell you. And it's freaking hilarious. I would never tell them that, but drop me a 5 in the comments if you ever look at your kids' artwork and you're like, how did you get that from like the picture that you're supposed to be copying? Because that was today's. I was like, oh, it's so good. And I'm like, I don't even know. That don't look like a firework. But they had fun, and that's what mattered. And then I sent them outside, which brings me to number 6, plan activities for them. Again, guys, if I just said, hey, go outside while I clean the house, 10 minutes, someone's going to be out there crying. So this is what I did. I said, you guys can take the Barbie stuff outside with the Barbie pool, because they always want to play with the Barbie pool. I don't let them play with it in the house because it has, like, you put real water in it. Take it outside. You can play with it. And Savannah's laughing because they came and asked me to put water in the pool. I was like, no. And so then afterwards I was like, yeah, take it outside. I don't care. And I told them, if you're play nicely with each other for 45 minutes to an hour while I clean, 1, you'll get a popsicle toward the end of it. And 2, when you come back in, we'll do something fun. Now that fun didn't happen because they stayed outside the whole time. They wanted to keep playing, but I would have done something fun with them. So this literally could be, let them take a special toy outside. Tomorrow, we're going to set up a bubble table with a whole bunch of like bubble wands and let them do it. Again, you got to change it up. If the whole summer, every day you bribe them with bubbles, they're going to care about bubbles after day 3. So you have to switch it up. So that brings me to pretty much here. I cleaned my house. They came in, they got dry. Their dad came and picked them up, which brings me to now. Now, one thing I want to interject is it's 7 o'clock and I've only done 2 power hours. And it feels like I've been on my phone all freaking day long. So that is why when people come to me and they tell me, I've been on my phone all day, I just can't. No, it's because you don't get up before your kids and you don't schedule out your time. Now, you see how scheduled I was. But because I woke up late, I still feel like I've been on my phone all day because I've had to do my power hours in 5-minute increments, and I hate it. But again, it's better than nothing. But the best option is get my butt out of bed in the morning. So if you feel like that, ask yourself, what can I do? Because you need to schedule blocks of time to do your work, not try to fit it in every 5 minutes. And I know I've heard leaders say that. That's fine if it works for them. And if it works for you, keep doing it. But if you feel like you're always on your phone and you have to always be checking messages and whatever, you need a better system. If you don't have any kids, you do have the scheduling thing a little bit easier. Like if you get up at 10 o'clock because you oversleep, it is what it is. You still do your work. You don't have someone that you're kind of scheduling around all the time, but I would still urge you to schedule your work. And Mandy, I hope Mandy can touch a little bit on this. I'm sure she's had days where she hasn't scheduled anything and probably feels like at the end of the day, she did a whole lot of nothing all day long, even though she doesn't have a kid. Like having a kid or not having a kid doesn't mean you should or shouldn't have a schedule. It just might mean your schedule is a little bit tighter than if you have a bunch of kids or don't have any kids. And then I do want to give you guys a little encouragement. Guys, I started this working full time. Actually, me, Mandy, and Chelsea all did. We all had the crappy season. And, again, I don't sugarcoat it. It sucked in the beginning. There was a lot of work to get to where we are now. But I would do it over again 100 times. Having the freedom that I have now, this is why we call this the Freedom Series. Not just money. We have so much time freedom. It's amazing. And I know there's a lot of people on my team who also have the time freedom now. And they would tell you they would do it 100 times over to be able to live the life on their own terms. Go to Chipotle whenever they want to. Go randomly. I know Janice, I don't know if she's on here, just text me the night before, hey, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Like, drop of the hat. Just her and her husband travel because they want to. That's awesome. Like, that's fun. but we all had to work our butt off to get here. So number 7, I do want to tell you, so just kidding, I have 8 things, not 9. Number 7 is give yourself grace. You're not going to have perfect days. You're not going to get everything on your list done all the time. The point of this video is not to make you feel bad or less than if you are not very good at time management yet. It's to show you what's possible if you get good at time management and you're willing to put the work into kind of the discipline, I guess. Someone just opened my door. And then number 8 is because remember, all of these tips are on how to maximize your time when your day doesn't go like it's supposed to. Don't stay up past a certain time. Don't create a cycle. Like, I didn't get up till 8 o'clock today. I could easily stay up till midnight, 1, 2. Do you think I'm getting up at 4 o'clock tomorrow if I do that? No. So then I have a cycle, and guess what? I did that last week. Okay. When I told Savannah, I was like, dude, I've put myself in a rut. She's like, I know you texted me at 12:30 last night. I was like, oh yeah, yes I did. What you can unmute yourself. I think did I say something wrong?
Yes, it was like 1:15 or 1:20 in the morning.
Just kidding. 1:15 or 1:20. So my personal limit, if I'm getting up at 4, I don't let myself go to bed past 10, which means I have to be in my bed at 9:45. If I'm super tired, I can get to bed in 15 minutes. And I purposely try to be super tired so I can actually go to sleep. So I hope those 8 tips help. I won't repeat any of them because I've taken more. I was planning on 20 minutes and I took 31. So sorry, not sorry. But the time management Zoom, like I said, I'll drop that in the links in here in just a few minutes. I'll try to go find it. And then Mandy, do you want to take over?
Sure thing. Hello, everybody. I'm Mandy. I'm in Australia, if you guys don't know who I am. And yeah, like Tonya said, I'm currently in my parents' house, but I live in my van and we're just like, whoa, I got spotlighted. I was like, whoa, I'm really big.
I don't know how the recording works with like them watching the replay. So I want to make sure they can actually see you if they're on the replay.
Okay, yeah. So I live in my van in my parents' backyard. I'm like 13 days away from starting to travel full time. And like Tonya said, I don't have kids. I don't have a partner. I don't have a dog. I was literally saying this to my team the other day. I'm like, I feel like you guys have a slight advantage over me because I can't go add myself into like, you know, girl mum groups or any kind of things like that. But I can add myself into van life groups, which I've done to kind of grow my network a little bit with people that are similar to me. So my tips are obviously very different because I don't have a strict schedule like Tonya has. But I know this is going to be really good for some of my team. A lot of them are at work. So thanks for recording this because they do have kids and they do have full-time jobs and all of that kind of stuff. So I started this 4.5 years ago. I was actually on work cover or like government assistance or whatever. I hurt myself at work. I was on that for 18 months and I was skipping lunches and in a really, really toxic relationship. I was $30,000 in debt. And when I found this, I was like, dude, if I can just like put fuel in my car and buy groceries, that would be awesome. So I ended up, this is just a short part of my story, ended up leaving that toxic relationship. I paid off $30,000 in debt. I started working a job and hated it, working in hospitality. And it was almost a year ago that I stopped working and I've been doing this business full time, and traveling was something that I always wanted to do. And because of this business being fully online, it's allowing me to do that. And I don't have a strict schedule. I know that I'm more productive in the morning. So I always try and do the hard things first. My goal every day is to send out 100 new messages, whether it be about the business or about products. I don't include my host to post messages in there. I don't include follow-ups in there. I don't include happy birthday messages in there. Like yesterday, I sent out 100 messages by 10 o'clock in the morning, but I know that everyone's schedule is different. So I make sure that I am up. And obviously when I start traveling and I'm hiking or I'm swimming or I'm going to meet people and I'm driving or whatever, things are going to change. So I like that these Zooms are on for the next couple of weeks so I can kind of talk to you guys about that as I go along. But in regards to, so I do everything in the morning. I at least try and get my, like I said, 100 messages out by like lunchtime, because I know come the afternoon, like I just want to hang out. My family's here and she's got 5 kids. And so we quite often go out, like I go out there with my parents and hang out and just chill out with them, and they don't have very much signal out there. So I know that I've got to get my work done before I go. In regards to kind of organization though, I am so blue. Like, I'll be like, yeah, I've got a book and I write down all my potentials. And then next week, I don't have anything written down, but I have like 4,000 screenshots in my phone. So, like, whatever it is, like, you've got to find what works for you. I am not really green. I like being organized in the sense of like, I know what I've got to do and I know what I've got to do it. And I was going to say something else and I completely forgot. But anyways, what I'm saying is like whatever kind of organization thing works for you, then do that. I take screenshots, and if I remember, I will plug them into like a potentials book, but I always try and get a date from people. So whether it's like, I literally had a girl the other day saying like, can I touch base with you in 8 months when I've had my baby and I really want to try the coffee? Absolutely. And I went to the calendar of my phone for like the end of October or whatever it was, whenever she said, or February, I can't even remember how long ago it was, but it's in there to follow up with her then. Am I just going to completely peace out and forget about her? No. But I do that in my calendar if people give me a date, or I use the alarm system on my phone. And you can repeat them. So like, for instance, when Tonya was saying, did you have this Zoom scheduled on your phone? I have an iPhone. I assume that Samsungs are the same, but I can set them for the same time. Like it's a Tuesday for me. It's Tuesday morning for me in Australia. So at the same time every Tuesday. So when I have follow-ups with people, if I talk to someone on like a Thursday and they tell me, oh, I get paid on Tuesday, then I'll put them in my calendar. Like I have 2 people that I meant to sign up with products today, and I meant to sign a distributor today. So I need to follow up with them. So I use that as like my organization. And if they don't give me a date, then I'll typically just follow up every Friday. My Fridays are like, I still try and send 100 messages, but I'm not trying to make new conversations. I'll just try and follow up with people, whether it's just checking in with them. If I'm like, if they told me that, or sorry, if they like ignored me after I've given them the price or something like that, then I'll always follow up with them on Fridays. And I do that forever until they block me or until they join something. Someone asked me, how many times do I follow up with people? Well, like, keep doing it. I'm not just telling them 45 times how many, like, are you ready to order now? I'll talk to them about different things. I don't really have a lot about time management. I am so blue. Like, some things will work one day and I'll think this is great and this is all working in screenshots, and then the next week I'll get up out of potentials book and I'll write everyone down, and then I don't do it for another week. So I'm telling you right now that like Hot Mess Express over here, if I can make this work, then you can too. But you've got to just do whatever kind of works for you. I'm finding the screenshots is probably the biggest thing for me, especially when I start traveling or while I'm out. If you guys are at work or something, can you send a message on your lunch break? And like, people have said, yeah, I'm interested. I'll just take a screenshot so I know kind of who I'm talking to, and I can go back and plug it all in.
And that's awesome. Yeah, I know with the 6 weeks that we're doing, there's going to be ones where 1 or 2 of us have like a bunch of tips, and the other one's kind of like, okay, I'm learning, and like, here's what works for me. When we get to the sample cache one, I'm going to have like 10 minutes worth of stuff to share, and then you're probably going to have like 45, because I know you kill it on samples. I'm just starting to do it, and I don't even do it with coffee. I just do it with the Super Mom sticks. So I've started figuring out how to get some samples, but not like turn them into a lot of customers yet. And I know when it comes to specifically getting like customers and distributors on Instagram, like that was Chelsea's thing. So we all have different strengths. That's why I like collaborating. Do you have anything else that you want to add before we switch over to Chelsea? I think she said 7:30 was 8:30 her time. So I think she's done with her kid going to bed.
Yeah, no, just like, you don't beat yourself up about it. Like Tonya was saying, if you have a schedule and something happens, like, or if you know that you're going out that day, then like do what you can in the, like, before you go, and don't schedule anything until afterwards, until you know you're back. Because I think I put a lot of pressure on myself sometimes when I had it in my house. I was like, okay, I did what Tonya said, which is great. Like, I timed how much time it took me to like clean my house and mow the lawn and do all these things, but that just doesn't vibe with me, because I feel like I'm on this strict schedule, and if I like mess up, I'm like, oh. So I just kind of go with the flow, but I know what I have to get done, and I make sure that it gets done every day.
Yeah. And like I said, when people like you do have a little bit more leeway with that, because you're not scheduling around a bunch of other people. When you have to schedule around a bunch of other people, it's easier said than done to give yourself a little more leeway. There's, unless you're the husband, and then I feel like you get all the leeway in the world, but the mom, it's a little harder. I feel like, at least sometimes I feel like I'm like losing my brains. But I wish I would have found this job when I was single and like in that season of life. But like you said, then there's pros and cons to all of it. Like I couldn't have joined mommy groups, couldn't have gone like and done all that stuff. But it would have been fun to be in like all the travel pages and like out taking bikini pictures and crap. So, you know, and you'll get to live
We're in
through both
winter,
seasons.
but it'll happen. Give me a couple months and it will happen. We're in
Oh,
winter
I
right now.
forget. You're not. We're in summer right now. So for us, like that, this would be that season. I forget that you're in winter. But yeah, you're more than likely. Obviously, I don't know what your life holds. More than likely, you're gonna get to live this business through all the different seasons, like Morgan McIntyre has. Like you started it young. You started while you were working and single, and then she got to show like her wedding, and now she's getting to show a baby and like live through all the different seasons. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. All right, let's see. Let me unspotlight you and Mandy, or just kidding. Chelsea, if you want to take over.
Okay, cool. All right. So, my name is Chelsea. If you guys are brand new on here, I know I've got a couple of brand new girls on here. So I wanted to make sure I shared a little bit of my story. So I started 3 years ago. I am a diamond leader now, but I started as a distributor, just like everybody else here, with the same exact Facebook, same exact type of Instagram. I actually started with like 123 friends, because my circle was not the greatest before I got started. I actually surrounded myself with very negative people and people who probably weren't into the greatest things. And so in result of that, the people that I surrounded myself with were bad influences on me. And I just became out of control at one point. I don't even know when it happened. It was just crazy. And while my life was going downhill, I started watching this girl on my Facebook. I actually used to work with her and we were nothing alike. She was completely opposite from me. And we didn't even have the same personalities. We had nothing to talk about, but I started seeing that she was making money off of social media. And that was my ticket in, because I am a red personality. I always have been since I started this business. And so when I saw that, it was like red flag, I'm ready to go. And, or green flag, I guess, I'm ready to go. And I messaged her after a year of watching her and making fun of her and doing all the things that everybody else does, right? And I finally got started. Within like 6 months, I was able to quit both of my jobs. And then I brought my fiance home a year later. And then now we're a full-time stay-at-home family. So we are in a similar season as Tanya and Mandy, but we're also a little bit different too, because we're both home and our schedule is kind of just flowy. It kind of just flows. And it wasn't always like that. When I first started this business, I worked 2 jobs. And so I had to work around 2 jobs. I was working over 80 hours a week in the medical field. It was wild. And I struggled a lot for the first 6 months to find time for this. Is anybody in here, like, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt like I just don't have any time? And you've said that to yourself, maybe out loud. That was literally me for like the first 6 months of my business. I said, how am I ever going to find time for this? I'm working 2 jobs. I didn't get a lunch break at all because I was working at a nursing home. And if you guys know, it is crazy there. They don't allow you to have breaks unless you're a smoker. And so guess what? I became a smoker because of that. So I started doing that. And every single time that I would go out on a smoke break, I would do a messaging spree. And that's how I jump started my business. I wanted the money so bad. We were behind on all of our mortgage, our mortgage payment. We were behind on every single bill. So it was almost like I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it because there was no other option for me. I had no other time to go and get a 9-to-5 job. Like I could not go get another job physically because I was already exhausting myself. Plus I had a 3-year-old at home at the time. I'm now a mom of 2. So I went through the season of working 2 jobs. And then I went through a season of being super pregnant, and I had a high risk pregnancy with my second one. I was pretty much broken down the entire time. I like to call it that. And then I went in and I had him, and I worked this business with a newborn and a toddler. And then now we have a 7-year-old at home and a soon to be 2-year-old in like 3 weeks. So I worked this business literally in every single season. And I kind of just wrote down notes for myself just to kind of follow. I do not have any green in me whatsoever. So I am a red, yellow personality. One of my biggest struggles in this business was saying no to helping others that weren't willing to help me back, if that makes sense. And so When I first started this business, I had family members who were never there for me, asking me if I could do something. And if I couldn't because I was working my business, they would say something, and then all of a sudden it would spiral downhill and my business got put on the back burner. Okay. Has anybody ever felt like that before? Especially, I know I've got a lot of yellows on my team. And for some reason, I attract a lot of yellows. And so a lot of them know exactly what I'm talking about, where you just have such a big heart that you just want to do and do and do for everybody else. But when it comes down to your own business, you kind of put it on the back burner. That was literally where I was at for a really, really long time, until I did a lot of personal development and I started growing kind of my voice and learning how to put my business first and manage my own business first and take my business like a business and not like a hobby. That was my biggest switch. So number one of the things that I started doing was I started prioritizing my mindset. Because I came from a horrible mindset, I had to change, and I was never going to grow my income if I did not grow my mindset first. And so I had to continuously do that. And I still do this every single morning. I describe this as to my new distributors as, have you ever been on a plane before? Like, let's just drop a 4 in the chat. Okay. If you've ever been on a plane before, when they are on the plane, they're getting ready to take off, and they say, you have to put your mask on before you put your neighbor's mask on. Do you guys know why they say that? Because if you don't put your mask on first, you're not going to be able to help the person next to you, because you'll be dead. You'll suffocate. You need the oxygen before you can help anybody else, right? So whenever I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is personal development. Now, this sometimes is reading, sitting down and reading, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have a hard time reading in the morning because I fall back asleep. I don't want to do that. And so what I do sometimes is I wake myself up with a motivational podcast or video. I literally search on YouTube, and that's what I do. I play it while I'm making my coffee in the morning, and I'm also putting my coffee on my story in the morning and stuff like that. And then we actually hop on at 6 a.m. and we've been kind of on and off with this lately. We've been trying to get back on track with it. Waking up at 6 a.m. and getting on to do our first power 30 minutes. And we do 30 minutes of straight up messaging. So we do messaging for 30 minutes, and then we might throw up something on our story, and we do messaging on Instagram and on Facebook. If you guys know our team, my team is really big on messaging. And the 3 most important things on our team specifically, and I think it's pretty much around everybody, is messaging, adding, and following up. These are your 3 like pillars in your business that are going to make you the most. And so, we do that first thing in the morning, and that way we can get things rolling. We can get our posts bumped. We can get to talking to people. We can start getting messages rolling back in throughout the day. And so we get that done early in the morning. And then usually what it looks like is throughout the day, my day is really flowy. I've got 2 kids. So it's kind of like, at one point we're outside playing in the pool. The next point I'm on the trampoline. The next point I'm being stretched in 2 different directions, guys, every single day. And so what I do is I prioritize my kids during that time. And during the day, I'm mostly with them. And if I find a time where my son is napping and my daughter is kind of just having her screen time, like Tanya said, don't be afraid to give them a little bit extra if you have to. We do that sometimes in the summertime, because I have to make sure that I have the best of both. And it's nice because Matt is home full time, which is my fiance, but he never used to be. I used to have to do this alone. I used to have to juggle my daughter Bailey and working my business at the same exact time. And sometimes I didn't feel like I wanted to work. I didn't feel like I wanted to make things happen. I felt like I wanted to spend more time with her. But I knew also that if I didn't work my business, then I wouldn't have any more time with her, because I would have to go back to work. Right. So I kind of, if I had to work my business only when I felt with it, I would like it. I would never work it. Okay. So, I just prioritize that. And so my days kind of flow. In the morning, we get a solid chunk done. Throughout the day, if I find nooks and crannies, guys, I'm not even kidding you, I won't even be bashful about it. Sometimes I have to do my messaging sprees going to the bathroom. Like, I just have to do what I have to do because my kids are consistently with me. And if you're a mom like me, they're still trying to stick their little fingers underneath the door and trying to claw their way in and trying to find you no matter how they can find you. And so that's exactly what I do. And then at night, usually after dinner, is when I go back down through my messages and I respond to every single person, usually because I've done messaging spree on Facebook and Instagram throughout the day, just 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Usually at the end of the day, when I go through it around like 8 o'clock or so, when my kids go to bed, that's when I'll get my host to post up, host to post. And usually I'm getting 10 or more out. Sometimes it does require me to send out a little more messages to get those 10 hosts to post out. Sometimes I do have to stay up a little bit later. If I'm going for a big goal or a big promotion, sometimes I do have to prioritize my business over sleep. I have to give up the good for the great, right? And that's something that I know that Tanya has done it. I know Mandy has had to do it before. I know we have all had to give up some of the times where we want to not be working our business so that we can work our business so that we can have more of those times later, if that makes sense. So, so sometimes I do have to do that, but, with throughout the week, what I do for planning posts and stuff like that, I actually plan my post on Sundays. So Sunday nights, I actually take like a 30-minute block and I just do nothing but plan my post. And I am huge on setting timers. I think Mandy is too, from what I heard or what we talked about and stuff like that. But I set a timer on my phone for 30 minutes and I do nothing but plan my posts. I actually plan my posts through my boards app. I have a board that it literally says plan post. And then it has a folder for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because I take Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning off. And I do this for my family. So this is when I prioritize the things that we really want to do. So if we wanted to go do something as a family together, we spend time together during that time the most. If we want to have company over, those are the times where we have company over the most. And I'm not saying we don't during the week too. We just don't have them over all day long on the rest of the days, because I know that my business has to come first if I want to move forward. Right. And so I plan my posts throughout for the entire week, actually. And I always do, posting something about the business, something that has nothing to do with the business, and then something about the product every single day. And I'm putting those up just random times throughout the day. It takes about 2 seconds now, whereas it used to take me at least 5 to 10 minutes to post. So if you're not planning your post, absolutely get on that, because it's going to change your life. And then also trainings. If I have a training where I'm actually training myself, I have to make sure that I plan that out, because if not, I'm going to be scrambling about 5 minutes before, because I'm not going to be able to find that little chunk of time to be able to sit down and really think about it. So Sunday nights, I get that done for myself, so I don't have to worry about that. I also set alarms for my training. So like if I have a training that I have to train on, or something that I've been wanting to watch, our team has a specific, schedule with our trainings and stuff. I've put that in our group chat so many times. And this one's even one that's included every single Monday night. I set alarms for it on my phone. So I have a reoccurring alarm every single week for certain Zoom calls that I know that I need to make a priority to get on. So this might mean that sometimes I might have to have Matt put the kids to bed some nights, because I know that I have to make things happen. I need to make sure that I'm there for my business just as much as I'm there for my kids. So I'm with them throughout the day, and then we compromise at night and we make things happen. I'm doing 10-minute messaging sprees. I already went over that. Everyone's schedule will look different, as you guys can see. I think that you guys can see a difference between Tanya, mine, and Mandy's at this point. We all have different lifestyles. We all have craziness going on throughout the day. Sometimes it's going to feel like you're treading water. Sometimes it's going to feel crazy. Some days you're going to feel like you're put together. There's going to be a mix and the best of both worlds. And when you go from, color personality, you do things differently. And so I think that's important, that you don't compare yourself to what this person's doing, this person's doing. It is okay to take things like something from one person and take another thing from another person and another thing from another person and blend it together for what fits for you. So if, you're hearing, Tanya going to bed at, what was that? I think it was like 8:45 or something like that. 9:45 some nights.
I try to be in bed by 8:30, but I'm trying to get up between 3:30 and 4. But I don't go to bed past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to turn it into a cycle.
Yeah, exactly. So if you hear Tanya saying that, that doesn't mean that you need to make it so you go to bed exactly that time. Maybe you might take that from her, or you might not take that from her. And then same with me, you might take the 10-minute messaging sprees that I do for me, or you might not. It might work for you to do blocks of time in the morning and at night. It might work for you to do something. So just take whatever works best for you and just figure it out. It's going to take time to learn exactly what's going to be best. And here's the thing that I learned in this business. I actually heard it from an upline a long time ago. Every 6 months, something changes in your life. And so when you feel like you finally got it together, right? Something's going to make a switch. And so make a change, and it's going to throw you for a loop. And so you have to kind of be like the leaves and just sway with it. You have to learn how to just work with whatever's going on. And you might have certain seasons of your life where you can't work 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes there. And you might have some seasons of your life where you can only work early morning and late night, right? But you have to choose what's going to work best for you in that season, and get yourself a checklist on what you're going to get done every single day. So everybody's schedule is different. Most important things I already went over that. And then the hardest part was saying no to other people. And I'm not even like a blue personality. I'm just very yellow in some cases. And so, when like Matt's parents would ask us if we could help them, or we had a buddy that needed help being moved, and we were like, oh my gosh, we already are having a hard time with this. Right. I would say yes to them instead of saying yes to my business. And I needed that business more than I needed anything else. And so, just know that it's okay to prioritize yourself, and know that it's okay to grow, to learn how to work your business consistently, instead of putting it on the side. And one of the stories I just wanted to tell really, really, really quick. So when I was going Emerald, actually, this was like a couple of years ago, there was a point where I wanted it so bad. I was having anxiety attack after anxiety attack. I'm not going to lie to you guys. My time management was horrible back then, horrible. And so there was a point where I wanted Emerald so bad because I needed the money to pay our mortgage so bad. We were going to lose our house, and I had to do something like 3 days ago. Right. And Matt asked me if I wanted to go fishing. Now, this is like one of my favorite things to do. I love fishing. I love the outdoors. My kids are outside 24/7. Like, we have all the things in the yard that the kids just scatter all over the place. And so I wanted to go so bad. And I felt this urge inside of me telling me, like, you don't want to miss out on that. Like, that's so good. Right. And it was like, I had another piece of me that was just pulling me towards, well, if you do this, you can go fishing so much more. Right. And so I had to come to that realization at one point that I needed to give up that one time, or maybe it's a few times. I had to give up that 1, 2, 3, 4 times to make things happen, especially if you feel like your time management is kind of all over the place. One, make sure you try your best every single day and keep trying to get it together. Keep trying to figure out what works best for you. But when it comes down to it and you're going for a promotion and you want it so bad, okay, you need it so bad, you've got it written right out in front of you. One of the things with that I had to learn was I needed to give up the good for the great, and I needed to learn when to say no so that I could say yes later on. And if I wanted a better schedule, if I wanted to be home full time, right, and I want to be able to choose my time and decide where my time goes, then I had to do that for myself. So that was one of the biggest things. But sometimes I work literally at the beach. Sometimes I work at home. Sometimes I'm working out fishing now. Like, I get to do whatever I want to do, and I get to make things happen, whenever it works best for our family. So we kind of just sway like the leaves, and we switch things up all the time. So I think that's all that I got.
I love so much that you said on there. I wrote down a few things. Guys, she said she was with her kids, like she's with her kids. Literally, I don't know. Let me unspotlight you, because I don't know how that works on the recording. If you're spotlighted, but they're like hearing my voice, because that's weird. Plus, it's awkward for you because then you're just like sitting there, making your faces, and you don't realize everyone's staring at you. But she said she's with her kids. That takes discipline, because that means she's shutting her freaking phone off, or not off, but like it's away. And she's being with her kids because she had the discipline to either get up or stay up and work when she needed to work. Because I just told you guys, my day to day was not like that. My day was working in pockets of time, and I hate that. So if I had to work today, every day like I did today, I wouldn't be doing this business. If our job required me to be on my phone and like strategically plan all of these little entertain my kids for 30 minutes and this, I wouldn't do this. I like that we get to manage our time and decide when we work. And then she also talked about planning posts. Guys, our team started doing that. I think Savannah was the first one that started doing it in our team. It saves you so much time. I used to spend 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes finding the perfect post. And I did that like 18 times a dang week. So when I started just planning the post, I was like, why am I not able to get my power hours done? Well, I'm spending 15 minutes of that power hour trying to find a post to put up. So plan your posts. If you're in the VIP training page, we have a video on how to plan posts. I'm sure Chelsea and Mandy have one in theirs too. And then one thing I wanted you to touch on real quick, because you said you can work from the beach, you can work while you're fishing. Can you clarify? That does not mean that you're working 24/7 while you're on vacation. It means your life is a vacation. Like you can take a random work day and go do it at the beach. You can take a random work day and go do it at the lake or wherever you fish. Like, I think when people see that we are working from the beach or the plane or whatever, oh, well, she has to be on her phone 24/7. No, it's the fact that our whole life is a vacation. So what looks to you like, oh, she's working on vacation is just a regular day in our life. It's not a vacation, it's just what our life is.
Yeah, my life never used to look like that. I was constantly working 24/7 when I was at my normal 9-to-5 jobs, right? Like I was working in nursing. That's all that I did. I was, working for somebody else. So now, whenever I work like on the beach or something, I'm not saying that I work the entire time. I set timers for myself. Okay. Yeah. So if my kids are playing in the sand and they really are like not interested in like really hanging out with me, right? That's when I'll sit down and I'll set my timer for 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes. And I will do a messaging spree for 10 minutes. Meaning that I'll send messages for 10 minutes. Okay. I'll follow a checklist for 10 minutes. Does that mean that I always have my books with me? No, I don't. Sometimes I take screenshots like Mandy. Sometimes I do bring just my calendar and I don't write things down, throughout the entire day. But like, if I sit down and I see a couple of messages come in, I'll write them down so I don't have to do it later. Right. And then sometimes I don't have mine at all and I'll just take screenshots, like I said. And, but I do take a lot of videos. I do take a lot of, stories. I do like photos and stuff like that. If I do go to the beach with my kids, like we were just there the other day, we go like once a week now. And so, I sit down when I get there first thing in the morning, I put sunblock on my kids. My daughter goes straight for the water. My son plays with his sand toys and I work while he's playing with his sand toys. He's a boy, he just does his own thing. And so I just sit there and I work for, 20 minutes while he's doing his own thing. Then I sit down and I play in the sand with him and I set and then I might, while we're eating lunch, I might respond to a couple of messages and then I'll go in the water with my daughter and I'll put my phone down again. And so that's the great thing about this business. Like I was saying that analogy of you got to kind of sway with the leaves. That's what I'm doing throughout the day. I'm just kind of going with the flow. If I've got a couple of minutes, okay, I'm going to work for a couple of minutes, but I'm not going to take time away from my kids to do it. And I'm not going to take time away from my business work time to answer questions that don't need to be answered right now. Right. Yep. So
yeah, I say that because when we went to Louisiana, we were gone for like a week and a half. I have taken 7 or 8 weeks of like vacations this year so far, and it's a whopping June. So I usually work while we're gone doing things because there's so much downtime. Like, again, this is my life. It's not really a vacation. I just like to travel. And I had a YouTuber do a video on me and how I had to work on all my vacations. And I was like, no, like my husband gets 3 weeks of paid time every year. So why would I take 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks and do nothing? Like that's a quarter of the freaking year at that point. So just know you're going to get some people hate. It doesn't matter. We're not saying to go work on all your vacations. We're saying create your life to where your whole life looks like a vacation to the outside world. So if you get people accusing you of working on vacation or, oh, look, she has to work all the time, she's working at the beach. you're at a desk job right now on a Tuesday while I'm at the beach. It's not a vacation. I'm just choosing to be at the beach. So
Yeah.
just know when she's saying that she gets to work all these different places, and when I know a lot of y'all creep my stories because I see you and I'm talking about how I'm working at the beach or I'm working from the cabin or whatever. Like, it's not because I had to take myself on vacation. It's because my life is a vacation because I've created it that way. I like to go do all the fun things, but I still have a job because at the end of the day, this is a job. You still have to work. So just know that like you can have the best of both worlds and prioritize both of them. So did Mandy hop off?
I think she's about to.
Oh wait, no, that's fine. I would say we are done. I was just gonna see if Mandy had anything anything she wanted to add before we hopped off here, but I think, is she gone already?
No, I'm not gone, but no, I'm good. No, someone's coming to hopefully buy my car. So,
oh, well, have an awesome rest of your night, Chelsea. Thank you guys for hopping on. I will get this posted up to my YouTube sometime in the next 24 hours, and then I will send it to both y'all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.